to be worth it. My name is Colin, and in this episode I'll show you all about our Hive brick code and how we apply it in our apiary. So let's get started. Alright, we always have the point of view from front of the hive. So you're going to see that yellow strip down there later on in a Hive brick code cheat sheet. So that's where we base our view from. The first code is basically, well, the hive is basically dead. It's standing upright, indicating the hive is dead. Our next status is the hive needs a queen. That can be either a virgin, it can be a queen cell, or even a caged mated queen. It doesn't really matter. If it's a virgin or a queen cell, the next status is she's going to go on to a mating flight, honeymoon, for about 5 to probably 10 days. Depends on the size of the colony. Eventually, hopefully, she ends up mated and she starts laying, and you put the brick in the middle. Okay, and as you can see, we've got quite a few different hives and different statuses, and we'll follow up on them later on. Okay, coming back to this one. So you've had it previously in laying, and for some reason something went wrong, and we set it into its unknown position. That's basically just a reminder for you to come back a week's time and just have another look. If you're lucky, she goes back into laying, all good and happy days. Front left is a bit of a pain. You don't want to end up there. That's the sign for drone layer. That's usually not a good sign. This is way better. It's hanging off either off the right or on the left, and basically it indicates it needs another box, as the colony is going strong on one box and just needs a second one. Okay, that was quite a few different hive brick codes. That may have gone a bit fast for you. Now what we've done is you can have a look at this. Either you pause the video and take a good look at this, or you go and have a quick look in the comment section below, where I've given you basically the direct URL to download our PDF sheet. I'll quickly go through all those different hive brick codes just because we've basically come up with quite a few. If you look at this sheet here on the top left, you're going to see basically just our hive numbering, HS, and then the 4-digit number. That's what you would see on the lid. The yellow thing with the slot in the middle, that's basically the entrance reducer. As shown in the video, we have yellow entrance reducers. It's just sort of telling you that's the view from the front. When we look at the second from top left, it's basically showing you the brick as it's standing upright, hence the small little square that you can see. That's either a hive has been put there and it's empty, or it's dead or unused as such. The next one over is unknown. Status needs to be inspected, where we have the brick over the left corner. Basically that can happen anywhere where you sort of seen something that you didn't like, or you're just not too sure if the queen has taken off or not, or just to come back 1 week later. So that's when we put it into the unknown status. The next one up is on the top right, requires queen cell, virgin queen, or a mated queen. Basically you have a few frames of brood. This can be either coming off a split, or you selling the queen, removing the queen, putting her elsewhere, just indicating that you need to put a queen into that, or that hive is actually waiting to receive a new queen. In the middle section, on the far left, you have queen cell. This can be either you having inserted a queen cell, or the other situation where you find queen cells. That's usually not too good of a sign. Either you have stuffed up your swarm management, or you squash the queen. That's usually not a good sign. As said, it can either be them having raised a cell, you can either leave that, or you have introduced a cell yourself. On the second one, middle row, second from left, mating in progress. Basically you have your either requires queen or queen cell ended up in mating. she's hatched. You checked your little cup that she cut herself out of your graft, and she's flying. That can take anywhere from 5 days to 14 days. It really depends on how strong your colony is. Now the next one is middle row, second one from the right, all good, laying. That's basically what you want to have. You want to have all your hives set on laying. The next one we're looking at is middle row on the right hand side, either hanging off left or right of the box. We haven't really got a code for either or. It's either on the left hand side or right hand side. It doesn't really matter too much as long as it's hanging off. Basically that's a good sign for us. The colony has been getting so strong that we can put another box on, which is a pretty good sign. Alright, the next one is not that much fun of a status. If you look at the drone layer, it's flat bottom left, just indicating that you have got a bit of a problem. But I'll deal with the topic of drone layers in a separate video, it takes quite a bit of time to explain that one. Our next status is ready to sell. Basically that's an internal sort of usage. Either we're selling the colony or we're just going to be resplitting it, or it actually goes into production. Depends on what we do with that hive. Last but not least, when we have the queen breeder hive, that's basically the brick in the middle, just horizontally, when looking from the front, that indicates where our breeder queens are located, and that's the ones we use for our grafts. We've got a bit of an extension. We came up just in the last few days now in the winter season in Perth, Australia, where we have an all good laying queen, but depending on how much honey store or sugar store they have, we can actually mark they are being on either high on feed, as seen on the left hand side, where the top end of the brick is facing to the right, and when you look on the right hand picture, if we're low on feed and we sort of weigh the hive from the back, just lifting it up slightly gently, we can feel that we need a bit more feed. Our brick is facing on the top left, slightly to the left. Okay, just for the fun of it, let's go through all those brick codes once again. This is empty, dead or unused. This is queen cell is inserted, or you have seen a queen cell. That's your dead unused colony. This is requires queen, needs queen. That's basically your split, for instance. You have seen a queen cell, or you have introduced a queen cell. The queen cell has hatched and she's out on mating, or you've introduced a virgin and she's on mating. Once she's back and you've seen the first few eggs, she's on laying. This is unknown, you're not too sure what's happening in the box. That's what you don't want to see, that's a drone layer. And usually what happens is a drone layer either, well, if you don't get to it early enough and you don't correct it, it ends up dead. The last status here, that's actually quite a good one. That's when your colony gets so strong that you can add a second box on. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and I'll catch you next time.